and the talking books, just to name a few. That was a visual sensation. Such cool stuff. Then there are other things, when it's the opposite and the movie just doesn't come out. And I often question how that happens. You remember Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I've read most of her books. She has a book called Dark Places. By far, one of the best books I've ever read. Love this book. Had such a twist at the end of this book. Totally threw me for a loop. Just totally threw me. And that's what kind of makes a book stand out in my mind. So I loved this book. They came out with a movie that went right to on demand, starring Academy Award winner Charlize Theron. So what my thought process is on this movie, because it was god-awful. It was terrible. I don't know what they did to ruin it, but I have to imagine that this didn't start out as a straight-to-DVD movie or a straight-to-on-demand movie. You don't hire Charlize Theron for an on-demand movie. My guess is they watched the movie, realized how much it sucked, were realizing that it wasn't going to make any money, that it was going to be an embarrassment for them, and they just put it right to on-demand instead. That is my guess. I could be completely off. I could be completely wrong. But that's my theory. I don't know what they did to that poor book. But the movie was awful. Such a disappointment. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite books. Some of the movie franchises that I have seen that have been turned into book franchises that I have read that have been turned into movies. The Hunger Games. The best thing about reading the book is you get inside their head that you don't have the option to in a movie unless they're doing like a voiceover of what a person is thinking, which they don't do very often. Here's an example. In the first Hunger Games, when Katniss was at the beginning of the games and they had that pile of gear for them to, run at and stock themselves up with, and then they had to run off and hide before somebody tried to kill them, somebody threw a knife at her, and it hit her in her backpack. And in the book, she thinks, oh, good, now I have a knife, which I thought was brilliant. But, of course, they can't really get that across in the movie. So things like that are pretty cool. Excuse me. So I thought in that case, in some instances, the book was better. But then in some instances, the movie is better because, there's something great about the visual. So I wanted to hear from you and what you thought. Jim says, I like to read a book, then see the movie. The book is usually better, but not always. Yeah, I'm always very eager to see a movie after I've read the book. I tend not to read the book if I see the movie first. Marcy says, movie, I think, sometimes it's better to see the story and characters, but the books always have better detail. And that's a good point because, then you have an actual person, the picture in your head. Not that I've really ever had a hard time picturing somebody from a book in my head. It just seems to develop on its own, which is good, I think. I think that's the point of it. Melissa says, that's a tough one. Stephen King, James Patterson, definitely the books, but Nicholas Sparks' books are great, but so are the movies. I mean, who doesn't love The Notebook? Very true. Charlene says, book first, then the movie. Rose says, the book is always better. Joe says, movie, mostly because I probably didn't read the book. There you go. And most people are going with the book. Always the book. Always the book. I have to agree with that on the whole. But like I said, there are some movies that have such great visual effects, that you just want to indulge the eye a little bit. Have a party for your eyes. So I will move on to my topic. And this week we are talking about discipline. So I want you to set yourself up for success. I put up one of my favorite pictures that I have ever taken in my entire life. I hope that you like it. If you do, please share it on social media. Just hit the share button on the Hopefulist page. Gets the word out a little bit about the Hopefulist and the amazing pictures she is able to take. This is an old one, too. This was from back in like 2014 or 2015. I believe it was 2014. So, yeah, it was a while ago, but a beautiful, beautiful beach picture, but snow-covered. One of my favorite pictures of all time. On it is a quote from Jim Rohn. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So how true is that statement, right? Achieving success takes work. You have to put in the extra effort. You have to work harder. You don't sit on the couch and watch Judy in the morning. Ha, ha, ha. Slamming myself a little bit. Throwing myself some shade. You have to have discipline. You must be willing to do what it takes to get where you want to go. You have to do it even when you don't feel like it. You have to do it even when it gets hard. You have to keep at it. When it comes to discipline, the best thing you can do is set yourself up for success. Anticipate the roadblocks. Anticipate them. What could go wrong in my plan? What could happen that will throw me off course? Plan for what you will do to get around them. Planning is your best friend. Take some extra effort. Take some extra time. But if you're willing to do it, you may find yourself more successful than you have in the past. Are you trying to eat healthy this year? Plan your meals. Yes, plan them ahead of time. Food prep. Carve out a little time each Sunday to prep your breakfast, lunch, dinners for the week, anything that you can prep ahead of time to make it easier. And then you only have to do what's absolutely necessary at mealtime. You don't want to spend part of your Sunday putting food in little containers. Yes, I know, I get it. Laying on the couch, so much better. Do it anyway. You will be so grateful you did every morning when you just have to pop something out of the fridge and into your bag. In fact, that's something you can put down in your gratitude journal. Grateful that my food prep is done for the week. Bonus! Do you normally head to the vending machine at work in the afternoon? Well, bring something with you that you can eat instead, something healthy. You want to go back to the gym? Will you go first thing in the morning? Put your workout clothes out the night before. Put your sneakers so it's the first thing you see. Are you going after work? Then pack your bag. Or is your workplace casual enough to wear some cute leggings and sneakers for the day? That's even better. Put it down as an appointment in your schedule. Don't break the promises and appointments you make for yourself. Don't let yourself down. Make no mistake, creating discipline is hard. It takes time and effort before it becomes a habit. But once it becomes a habit, you'll wonder how you ever did it any other way. Keep in mind the initial quote. Be willing to do what other people are not in order to get what other people wish they had. Life is not handed to you on a silver platter. Well, a good life. You have to work for what you want. If it is important enough to you, you will find a way. It is hump day already. Plan out ways to make your discipline easier to handle. Plan, plan, plan. It is your best friend. Set yourself up for success. Because if you don't, who will? You're on your own there, chickie. Go be a badass and make today your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Come on, Ellen, I'm feeling bad today. Give me some good news by telling me you'll have me on your show.